From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hutchavandy.
And Corey Clark. Or do you want me to lie?
Wake up! What is up? It is Wake Up Warchant. It is presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill in Tallahassee, Florida. CPTallybar.com, or pull out your phone, camera app, open it, hit the barcode. It's a QR code, takes you right to the website. And you should take yourselves to the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill tonight, Friday, for the Warchant.com happy hour live with Jeff Cameron and Corey Clark from 5 to 6 o'clock. A little bit of a quasi meet and greet following that. If you can't make it out Friday, you better make it out Saturday to the Hotel Indigo in College Town. We'll be having a meet and greet from 12 to 3 o'clock. It'll be running concurrent to the pregame show with Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang from 1 to 3. The meet and greet starts at noon. Watch through with Gene and Tom for the Garnet and Gold game, and then the postgame show with Gene and Tom to follow. Action-packed weekend at Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. Thumbs up if you're listening to us on YouTube. Corey, shout out to some folks. Our guy James B said that it was actually Gary Coke that actually said
better than most.
Better than most, yeah. And yeah. Vern was something about like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And our guy Williams Nike says that F1 has a cost cap. Salaries of drivers and staff are not part of it, though. One team could have 1,000 members back at the factory, while another, Williams, has 300. Mercedes has been the most and best constructor for the last 13 years.
Yeah. Well, don't spoil it. So don't spoil it. Don't when this race is up, when the season is over this year, don't anybody spoil it for me.
Yeah,
because I'm going to wait 8 months until Netflix releases that show.
Oh man, hey, we got not a big show. We're going to go through the entire practice that we saw on Thursday. Corey saw all of it. I saw parts of it. Was getting the video ready for you folks from practice, the first 3 periods. Shout out to Tom Lang, who also pinched in and focused in on the trenches for you folks. Grumpy BK wanted to see. A lot of people want to see the whole, all 22. And I've explained that, that's not the way I operate, because I'm out there filming all this stuff because we need what we call B-roll, file footage, for when we do the preseason top 40, when we do the Warchant report, when we do all these segments and shows. We have to be able to show a close-up of Fabian Lovett's face as opposed to him being a speck on a screen doing whatever. But it's all there for you folks to enjoy that. Corey was able to watch all of it. But before we get to that, I don't know, do you, by all means, feel free to digress from me here, Corey, but the news of CY, Charlton Young, leaving Florida State to take a lateral job at Missouri, head back up with his guy, Dennis Gates. Dennis Gates, formerly an assistant here at Florida State, went to Cleveland State, took them to the tournament 2 years ago, got the head coaching job at Missouri, the University of Missouri, SEC Missouri. And CY on Thursday apparently took an assistant job and must be the money, apparently. I think our Gene Williams reported he's hearing a 3-year deal at 1.8. That's a lot of money. That's $600 a year. And apparently he was making close to $300 in Tallahassee, which that'll get you to pack your bags and leave your mentor.
Yeah, for sure. I think CY's been around for a while, man. I don't know exactly when he started at Florida State. I want to say at least a decade. But so he's been a part of all of it, and he's a big time recruiter. He's a big time part of this program. When you would watch him on Senior Day, Terrence Mann comes immediately to mind because CY kind of found him. CY kind of found Cabangeli too. There are some guys that CY brought into this program that were under the radar at the time that he noticed them, and those relationships helped build Florida State basketball. He has been an integral part of the program. Integral, some would say. I say integral.
I loved it. You crushed it the first time. I almost went on this whole crusade to just shame people that say integral. There is no word, everybody. It's integral.
Yeah, right.
Or integral.
Well, yeah, sure. So, but what's odd to me about it, and we wish him the best, and I hope it works out for him. He'll be coaching with Dennis Gates, another Florida State guy. It's like that. Maybe he knew it anyway. Maybe there had been something talked about, but now there is no. I thought there was a legitimate chance when Leonard retired that CY might be the guy he handpicked. to be his replacement. And not that Leonard gets to make that decision necessarily, but he has a lot of input. And I thought CY would really be in the running to be a head coach when Leonard steps down, and that won't be too much longer. My man's in. I know he looks 45. He looks younger than me, but he's in his early 70s. He won't be coaching for too much longer. And now I don't see an avenue where that can happen for CY. I mean, maybe it wasn't going to anyway, but the thought being, okay, say they crush it at Mizzou. You know what I mean? Say they crush it at Mizzou, Gates and CY for the next 3 years. They build that into a nice team, a top 25 team. Well, then it's Dennis Gates that's going to be the head coach at Florida State. You know what I mean? If they're going to go take somebody off the Missouri staff, if they can compete, it's going to be financially. I mean, it's going to be the head coach at Missouri. I know that couldn't have been an easy decision for CY. He has made it a point. Leonard Hamilton is his mentor, and he has made a point over the last 3-4 years to always talk about how much he wants to get Leonard into the Hall of Fame, into the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the Florida State Hall of Fame, which he is also in, or are going to be inducted into this year. But to get Leonard into the basketball hall, the actual real one, the one in Springfield, so that had to be hard for him. But yeah, who's going to blame him for Florida State's not going to pay an assistant coach $600? They already got an associate head coach in Stan Jones. They're not going to pay. They can't afford that. This is, again, it's the SEC money, man, and it's not just for football. Why would Missouri has been to 2 Sweet 16s in 30 years. That is not a basketball powerhouse. I know they care about that program, they have, but they're not good at anything. They ain't good at anything, really. But they have so much more money than Florida State that they can go cherry pick one of their assistant coaches. So that's the reality. You can't compete with SEC money, not just in football, but in these sports too. Florida State can't pay a second assistant, which is since Stan is the associate head coach, they can't pay a second assistant that kind of money. But good luck to CY. I hope it works out. I hope he has a great career. I hope he gets to be a head coach in the Power 5 soon enough. Maybe he can take over for Gates when Gates comes to Florida State.
Yeah, I was going to think
once he crushes it there.
Yeah. You mentioned 2 Sweet 16s and however long it's been. Is Missouri a destination job? Is that game over for Gates? Would Gates? Would he? I don't know if he would want to come to Tallahassee. Even if we offered him a little bit more. It is the ACC, but I wonder, where do you go from Missouri? Because it's a high-level Power 5 job.
If he crushes it at Missouri and goes to, 3 Sweet 16s in 4 years, or does, really turns that program around, because it's been pretty awful here. They were really bad this year. Maybe Florida State maybe isn't high enough for the next rung on the ladder. Maybe they do it well. And I just don't know. I guess my point would be, I can't imagine a scenario where Florida State, and I could be wrong, where Florida State goes and gets an assistant off another team to be their head coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. When Leonard steps down. Even CY. Maybe, but I just think at that point you're either going to get somebody off the current staff, or you're going to want to get a head coach from somewhere else. You're not going to get an assistant from Missouri. Could be wrong, though. And frankly, I wouldn't mind being wrong, because I really like CY. He's a good dude. He was a great ambassador for Florida State, and was a huge part of the resurgence of the basketball team and getting so many good players on campus.
Yeah, he almost made it 9 years here. He was hired on June 4th, 2013.
There you go. All right.
Good run. We'll see what Ham does to fill that vacancy on his staff. And best of luck to him and Gates and Dennis Gates, man. Do Ham proud. Do the Noles proud. All right, to football. Saturday, the Garnet and Gold game, 5 p.m., Doak Campbell Stadium. We actually got to hang out in Doak Campbell Stadium and watch some goal line work.
We did. I have a suggestion, by the way, about who he should hire as the next assistant coach.
Okay,
Leonard.
Go ahead.
Whoever the 2023 class, whoever the highest ranked prospect is in the country,
his high school coach.
You get to be you're going to get some NIL stuff anyway, but you also get a nice $350,000 salary to be a player coach.
Okay. Player coach.
Be a player coach.
Okay. I got you.
Don't you think? No, not his high school coach. I'm talking about going and making that kid the assistant. Yeah. I think that's something that Duke's not offering.
Yeah.
Shire's all full on the staff. Yeah, I think that's something Florida State could, something different. Try to be a little different. Try to think outside the box. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about shaking it up. And I'm curious to see when Hamilton does decide to retire, like who they will go after. This 18 strong thing is pretty cool, but also might be pretty cool if we just, I don't mind what North Carolina did this past year. I wouldn't mind just having like 6 dudes we can just count on all the time.
Yeah, that works
down
too.
to nub. All right, let's go to football. Scrimmage Saturday, Garnet and Gold game actually Saturday. I guess the cool development on that is he was asked, why go with a offense versus defense and not do 1s versus 2s or whatever. And they're going to go good on good, so that's cool. So if you are making the trip up to Tallahassee on Saturday, you are going to see good on good, even though it won't be an actual Garnet team versus Gold team. It'll be offense versus defense. I like the sound of that, Corey. What do you think about it?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of assumed that was going to be the case, but I guess I shouldn't have. I don't know that I should have done that. But yeah, he said, I think it'll be 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s. They might mix it up a little. But yeah, that makes sense, right? It's what they did on Thursday inside the stadium after the goal line. Joe, that seemed like a lot of, maybe not on the defensive line. Some of the line of scrimmage, they're rotating a lot more bodies in because of, you want to give some guys a break, and they're playing on Saturday, and some guys might not be available, so whatever. But yeah, that I think that's great. I think that's what fans want to see, and I think it's great for the competition, and it's great for both sides of the ball to be able to do that.
And we all might be able to watch it together for the first time, 1s-on-1s, because I don't think we've seen a lot of it this spring, to be honest with you. That's not a criticism. It's just I don't think we've seen a lot of best 11 versus best 11. Do you?
Oh, well, I think we've seen a lot of 1s versus 1s, like a ton of it. I don't know that. I think you're talking about like maybe certain personnel. Maybe it's still running with the 2s.
No, the best 11 guys on defense have not played the predominant snaps. We have not seen the best 11 guys play together on defense more than maybe, 20% of the time we've been out there, I don't think. They've been mixing and matching, man. We talked about the back end had what we would presume in the number one.
But I mean, that's a football game, right? Like Fabian Lovett said on after the practice on Thursday.
I hope we're not running out second team defensive line.
I mean, you have to though. He's like, well, these guys got to get better. He was talking about his teammates, the younger guys. They got to get better because me and Coop aren't playing 80 snaps. We can't play 80 snaps.
Well, work on your cardio, big guy, or else it's going to be a long season.
That's not
man.
No defensive tackles are going to be playing 80 snaps. There's only Jermaine Johnson's a defensive end, and he was an absolute freak. There aren't going to be many defensive linemen in the country that are going to be playing 80 snaps a game. None, certainly probably none on this team. So yeah, but I think you got to work in like Jared Johnson and Jared Jackson, and the Malcolm Rays and the guys like that, the Farmers, because they're going to be playing. They're not going to be playing. When has Cooper ever played more than 35 snaps in a game or 50? Like Robert Cooper is not playing 80 snaps. He can't. Physically, he'll be done. So they've got to develop some depth. So I think that's what they're doing. But I do think you see the one secondary going up against the ones. You see the back seven a lot more, where it's the same, mostly the same guys. So yeah, we'll get to see it on Saturday too.
I'd say the back five, their linebackers I think are mixing and matching as well.
Well, there might be a linebacker that's not currently available.
Yeah, and also the offensive line continues to kind of shuffle things around.
Mm-hmm.
They're holding some guys out. We'll see if they go full bore on Saturday. But before we get to Saturday, let's talk about what happened on Thursday, Corey. So they did goal line. I don't know if we call it goal line, maybe red zone situation in the IPF during their first team period of the practice.
Yep, and it was really just basically running plays. It was 3 running plays. Yeah.
3 running plays and then a field goal. So I guess it's one of those situations where maybe you're trailing by 1 or 2 points, and it's just run some clock, get a couple more yards for your field goal kicker. Possibly that was the scenario. And then after practice they went, or not after practice, but later on, after about 10 periods, they go into Doak Campbell. They did some like true old school Mickey Andrews smiling, grinning ear to ear, goal line, snot bubble kind of stuff. But the stuff in the IPF that was all defense, I thought. Your thoughts?
Yeah, but also, they were even running the ball on 3rd and 10. So, I think the defense might have known what was happening. So they knew there wasn't a threat of a pass. But yeah, they those 3 plays, the first team offense and the second team offense. I think the first team offense got 8 yards on 3 runs, and the second team offense got 0 maybe or 1, and they even ran a little misdirection on 3rd and 10, and it was blown up immediately. But I thought the goal line stuff was cool, man. I charted it all. They ran 19 plays. The offense won 10 of them, meaning they got in the end zone on 10 of the plays, and the defense obviously won the other 9. which, with the offense only having to get 1 yard, holding them to 50% on that, I thought was, pretty good. But I also thought the offense wasn't terrible by any stretch. And I thought, DJ Williams had 3 touchdowns, really ran hard, got those tough yards, man, because they weren't easy. Even though Cooper and Lovett weren't playing a ton during that stretch, it was not easy pickings. It was not easy down there by the goal line. And he had some tough runs. Micah Pittman had I tweeted that out on Thursday night too, that, Johnny Wilson caught that fade in the end zone over Cooper. And I thought Johnny Wilson had a nice practice, man.
He ran him over. That was the first time I've seen Amari Cooper beat all spring. So hopefully he won't get beat Saturday.
Now look, he fell down. I don't know what happened, if the feet got tangled or if Johnny Wilson just pushed him. They didn't throw a flag. But I thought Johnny Wilson had a really nice practice overall. In one-on-ones, he made some really good catches downfield. Still dropped 1 or 2 that he doesn't need to. But man, he ran. I can't remember who the DB was, but it was just a go route, and the dude ran by him, and it was a good one. I wish I could remember who it was. And but yeah, made a nice catch for like a 50-yard touchdown in one-on-ones, and has some speed now. But also, more importantly, went up and high-pointed a ball in the back corner of the end zone for a touchdown. You need those kind of things, right, Aslan? You need your offense to score some touchdowns occasionally. Yeah. So that's good to see. And then Micah Pittman on a sweep from the 1 yard line. My man gets a sweep coming around right in, like a little reverse, go in motion, get the ball.
I didn't see it. It was a misdirection, I thought, involved. They fooled me.
I can't remember who it was. It might have been Shaheem Brown right there at the goal line with him. And look, Shaheem Brown had a nice goal line package himself, nice goal line drill. And he didn't get, I don't know if he got run over. You wouldn't say he got run over, but Micah Pittman went chest to chest with him at about the half-yard line and bulled himself into the end zone, and then did a Thriller dance afterwards.
He did.
He got to.
It's nice.
But man, that's the kind of stuff, right? Like, I know they're just 1 yard plays, and you can't look too much into a 1 yard play. But these two guys in particular, because Deuce Spann isn't ready, and Winston Wright, I would assume, probably isn't playing this year, or is it going to be very limited. These 2 guys from the transfer portal, these 2 wide receivers have to be the guys. And for them to go make plays in a goal line situation, that might be the kind of stuff you're getting, very small sample size, than you couldn't get last year. They tried to run a fade to Malik McClain, didn't work out. Tried to run another fade later in the practice that A.J. Duffy threw out of the end zone. But the fade they threw to 14, that's a touchdown. You give the ball to Micah Pittman, that dude is a competitor. It got himself into the end zone. That's really good to see.
Yeah, shout out to the defense, too, though. I thought the fade that didn't work to Malik McClain, I thought that was good coverage by Zaire Thomas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
Okay.
You're right. I thought it was Zaire Thomas. Now, who knows?
I feel like Akeem locked somebody up on goal line, too. So we see you, Akeem. And then during goal line outside in Doak Campbell, Jadarius Green McKnight had a TFL, came screaming out like a rocket off the edge. Good to see that. And then when they were inside in the first team period, my guy Quayshawn Fuller met some dude in the backfield, stuffed him. So
stuffed Rodemaker and him at the same time. Like was tackling them both as they did the read. Just went right by whoever was trying to block them or was supposed to be blocking them. But yeah, I thought that's what was cool about the goal line is it's not like either one dominated, but it was so competitive. I mean, they always should be competitive, right? I mean, it's the goal line. You can't be there half-stepping. But I really did like the energy, the way they played. They bark at each other, and I just think that's good. That you need that, man. You need that kind of competitive spirit and that competitive level. And I thought I thought it was a good, what I say, 19 plays. It was 19 plays, and it was 10-9. Jordan Travis he was the one that threw the one to Wilson, and he also had a touchdown run on a keeper where he made the right read and just sprinted into the end zone.
We all could have scored on that one, yeah.
But we might all have kept it. Like he really read it.
No, I'm not trying to dog Jordan. He made the right decision, but shout out to the offensive line, or at least fooling them. They did a great job.
But I thought that one, and then C.J. Campbell had a 1 yard run where it would like the Red Sea parted, and that was the easiest touchdown of the day. Was the one with C.J. Campbell. But the other 9 touchdowns, those guys had to go make plays or make tough runs. They didn't just get pushed back into the end zone, and that was that. I thought it was feisty, man. It was fun to watch. I'm glad we get to watch it.
Yeah, there was a moment where the offense kind of huddled around each other and started clapping it up and hooping and hollering, and then the defense kind of turned around and had to figure out a way to respond to it as well. And Terrell Buckley, Dexter Carter, a couple other guys I might be forgetting were out at practice too. So try and do the originators, the foundation setters, try and do them proud. Terrell Buckley, by the way,
T-Buck is going to be the honorary captain, right?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. That is correct. The coaches, Cannell, Peter Boulware, who are the other two dudes I'm forgetting? So, yeah, no Jeff Cameron this year.
Yeah,
womp, womp.
What's that about?
That ain't cool. What's that all about?
I just don't understand it. Like, I mean, I know he was terrible.
Whoa.
I mean, he was awful. They got
innovative offenses. I like
they didn't do anything with him at the helm. But, he's a bigger star than Peter Boulware, right?
EJ and then Bryant McFadden. BMAC.
Oh, that's a good quartet there, man. Yeah. Some very good players.
So it'll be exciting. It was a good practice. I thought it's not the last practice though. They'll practice Friday, Garden Gold game Saturday, then they'll practice Tuesday. Kind of go over the game film, clean up stuff from that. So we'll be able to maybe get some more insight into how they perform in that game. So. We're going to do a primer. I think UI and Ira. By the way, Ira said he wants to do one on Friday. So. I signed you up for it, Corey. So
what does that mean?
I don't know. We're shooting a video. Probably. What are we looking for?
Right. Okay.
So what are we looking for? I know headlines. Apparently, you guys poisoned the well. Jeff's a bit concerned about the offensive line. Sounds like somebody posted a thread. I think Peter Work had you do that. Is the name of the person. We're like, man, how are we here this long into this stuff and we still can't find an offensive line? And Ira's like, hey, by the way, Seminole Headlines is 3 guys that disagree with each other. So don't be putting my name on that in the diplomatic way that Ira could.
Yes.
I mean, overall, I've been satisfied with what I've seen this spring. Would I like to see more? Obviously, yeah. I don't feel discouraged, though. But I don't know. Maybe I don't think about the offensive line enough. I've always glossed over them. Not that I don't realize the importance of an offensive line to the success of an offense and a football team. But just this whole, you got to find 5 guys that could be on the same page every single time. It's like, well, you know what? Sometimes that's just not going to happen. Even Alabama doesn't. Even the Rams don't have 5 guys on the same page all the time. Guys got to go out there and figure out ways to make plays. But with Darius probably not playing Saturday, and a couple of the other things they're nursing and managing, are you more concerned, equally concerned, less concerned about the offensive line or anything else now that after 13 of these that we've seen?
I think no. I mean, the offensive line. I think that the portal will be open once spring is over, and maybe you have to make a decision to go get a guy. What I do wonder about is, and I'll get the front. If the offensive line struggles again, like last year, it took a nice step, but to maybe average. If it's average again, and we're having these literally, I can't listen to Jeff talk about the offensive line anymore. And trust me, I understand it. It is the backbone of you can't be good on offense if you have a bad offensive line. It can't happen. You need a good offensive line. But I mean, it's been the same tune now for 6 years. And I mean, don't we think Alex Atkins is a good coach?
Yes.
So if he's as good a coach as we all pretend for him to be, well, now we're in year 3, man. When are some of the guys that you've been coaching now for 2 years going to take a step and actually be ready to contribute? And I'm not saying they're not right now. Again, they've got to get stronger. They've got to get bigger, but go do it. I can't wrap my head around in why Maurice Smith isn't 25 pounds heavier. I can't do it. Like, go eat, dude. There's a Dairy Queen. There's got to be multiple Dairy Queens near you.
Or how about a Zaxby's? Corey?
Well, yeah, I don't want to imply that Zaxby's makes you fat, though.
Oh, okay. What's a good weight on you, though? Look at me, man.
Woo! Good point. So just go eat, man. Go eat and work out and get stronger. Like, you don't need the 280 svelte centers, man. You don't need linemen like that. Look around at the really good linemen. You've got to be big and strong and a little bit of fat. So anyway, and you got to be talented. And are these guys not talented? They're just never going to have an offensive line. They just can't develop. They just don't develop offensive linemen. Like, legitimately, and Jeff's a really good friend of mine, and I don't disagree with him, but I just can't hear about it much anymore, man. I get it. You don't think they're any good. You think they got to get better. Of course they've got to get better. But at some point, if it's always you don't have the right players and the players aren't, and I'm just speaking from, countering to Jeff. It's like, okay, well, maybe the coach isn't getting it done then. So either evaluating these guys.
It's the third one though, Corey, right? Fourth
No,
one.
but I'm talking about this particular guy who we both think is very good. This is year 3. There's no reason to think this offensive line won't be better because he's a good coach. So let's give them some time to develop, and let's not make decisions on me. And I'm guilty of this anyway. I thought Rodemaker didn't even belong on a college football team 4 months ago. And now I'm his agent, essentially. So I do this all the time. I rush to judgment. But let's see what these guys look like in August and September before we decide, okay, he can't play, he's not good, he can't play. Let's give him time to develop. Because if you're going to have maybe two of the starting 5 are going to be transfers, probably, I would hope anyway. You didn't bring Lyles in to sit.
But he's got to. I want to stay within the confines of the rules we're given, but Maurice has been holding things down. So
sure, but I just think that's it's not like Lyles isn't playing. And again, he didn't come here to back up Maurice Smith. Maurice might win the job, I guess. But either way, if you have to go get another portal kid, then what have you been doing for the last 2 years with the guys you recruited in 2020 and the guys you recruited in 2021? Like, I look around the country and see a lot of redshirt freshmen and sophomores being good offensive linemen. So hopefully this program is in a place now. You had some stop gaps. You might go get another one. These younger guys actually get a year to develop. Don't have, like we talked about with Maurice Smith, actually, is a good example. Robert Scott, Darius Washington. They played so much early that they didn't get a chance to they were banged and bruised and battered, and they didn't get a chance to get really bigger and stronger during the course of a season. Well, maybe if they can hold it down this one last year, maybe go get another transfer, and the guys that you think could be really good, maybe like a Thomas Schrader or somebody, gets a full year of practice and gets a full year of getting bigger and stronger, and then in 2023, you don't have to maybe go hardcore into the portal again. Maybe these guys that you keep telling us you like and they're developing, they're coming along, will actually be there, and we won't have to keep hearing about how the offensive line isn't any good.
Really interested to see if Thomas Schrader makes some strides when summer rolls around. Obviously he got injured last year, and this is kind of like his first true return to action. So maybe, 'cause I was expecting a lot more out of him than what I think I've seen, at least in terms of how he's been involved in some of the reps they've been distributing out. So hopefully summer might be a little kinder to him. Lloyd Willis was the guy I was hoping I was going to take a stride, as well as Rod Orr. None of those guys really have. I think I saw Tom on the Tribal Council. Tom Lang was saying that maybe Darius moving into guard might not be as seamless as we had hoped.
Right.
But again, touche. You're right. I'm not trying to advocate for Robert Cooper playing 80 snaps. I would just like to see a lot. I don't know. I don't remember seeing a lot of the best 11 guys on defense out there playing, a significant amount of reps. But, man, I don't think at any point the 5 people that you folks listening to the show think are the best offensive linemen that you're projecting to be your starting 5 against Duquesne LSU. Man, I don't know. 5% of the reps, Corey? So we do have to take that in mind, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it'll be interesting to see who gets what and who plays when on Saturday as well. But yeah, man, I think me personally, I think offensive line, defensive line, and receiver. If you're going to go get anybody in the portal, I think it's those 3, maybe in that order. But I honestly, again, it depends on who's out there too, right? That's the obvious caveat. There might be an incredible receiver that you could go get that would be more important than a guy that might fight for a starting job on your offensive line.
But we can say like defensive back. Short of like Jalen Ramsey being out there, you're good. Maybe you take a linebacker, but I think they'd have to be a really, really good linebacker, and I don't know if a really, really good linebacker is going to leave in May.
I think you already got one.
Yeah,
you got one. You got the one that you needed to get.
Yeah, I like Bethune, Amari, DJ. Dix had a pretty decent practice, I thought, on Thursday. I think he's that's goal line though, and that's where Dix can actually do some things. Yeah, get
he
some
just can't
use out
play
of
in
him.
space.
Oh.
He can't play well in space yet. Maybe it comes, but yeah, he did play. DJ Lundy had a depleter block on offense when they put him at fullback on offense. He had a great lead block where he depleted the kid essentially. And then also had a vicious hit at linebacker to keep a kid out of the end zone.
And he also ran stride for stride with a tight end on a seam route.
That's right.
Wasn't thrown all that
well. That was
well.
a good little stretch there for old DJ in the stadium.
Yeah, so to your point, I agree. I think you're good at defensive back. I think you're good at linebacker. Your defensive line, you could use some depth, maybe at tackle. You could use it some impact guy possibly as a rush end. But then on offense, I guess they're going to stand pat at quarterback. Which, we'll see how that works out. But another offensive lineman, obviously, that would be my top pick on that side of the ball. And then if there's a receiver
probably.
out there. Yeah.
Again, it's all about who's available, though, right? I think at this point, I like to say, Aslan, it's best available.
Okay, yeah, all right.
You're the best available mindset. Whoever's out there. It might be a DB, but he might be a Thorpe candidate. He might have been a Thorpe finalist last year. Go get him. Best. Don't say, oh, we can't get him. We got Greedy Vance. You go get best available.
All right. Get the NIL package ready, everybody. Get it ready.
That's right.
All right, that's a wrap for us. Anything else you want to add, Corey? You didn't get to talk about softball and baseball. I tacked it on to the show at the beginning, though, to keep the
there you go.
The
that was
happy.
A great win, though. On another great part about Corner Pocket is that game was on multiple screens at Corner Pocket, and people were very excited when Sydney Sherrill hit the go-ahead home run in whatever that was, the 9th inning? 10th inning. Yeah. And then they tacked on another, too. They win. They're 36-2, man. It's crazy. And a huge series this week, right? Virginia Tech's in town.
Correct.
So if you're in town for the spring game, which I hope most of you are, at least a good portion of you are, although I've poo-pooed the spring game the last week. But anyway, if you're in town, get over there to the Plex, man, and watch at least one of those games, because that'll be maybe not Friday night, because you'll be hanging at CP with us. I guess you could get over there Friday night afterwards. But yeah, go watch. That's a big series. Virginia Tech's top 5 in the country. Florida State clearly is too, and they're 36-2, man. That's pretty remarkable. And then the baseball team,
get right. That was a get right dub, Corey. Come on, man.
Mean, they avoided tying for the longest losing streak in school history with that win over Stetson. And Nander DeSadas is hitting .373 at Missouri right now, and slugging over .600.
He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thank you for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Stay connected to warchant.com all weekend long. Recruiting updates. We're going to preview the Garnet and Gold game for you on our YouTube channel. We'll have stuff over on warchant.com as well, and then full pregame, postgame, in-game coverage. You won't want to miss it. We'll talk to you folks on Monday. Have a great one.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.